Alright guys, this is my first Christian story on the channel, so I'm gonna go ahead and start. It was Daniel's 14th birthday. Daniel's parents decided that since he maintained an A average in school all year, that he should have a special birthday. After thinking for a while, they decided that a cruise would fit the occasion. When Daniel woke up at around 8:30 a.m., his parents told him happy birthday with calm voices to make sure that Daniel wouldn't suspect anything. Daniel thanked his parents and went on with his day. An hour later, Daniel's father told him to pack his suitcase. Daniel looked at his father with a confused face, but did as he said anyway. After this, Daniel and his parents had packed their bags, got in the truck, and drove off. "Where are we going?" Daniel asked. His mother replied, "You'll see when we get there." Daniel sat back with a smile of excitement on his face. This smile lasted until Daniel saw the book poking out of his mother's bag. Daniel took the book and saw that it was the Bible. This angered Daniel because he was an atheist. Daniel hated it when his parents would tell him about Jesus because he didn't believe in him. When Daniel and his parents drove up to the parking lot in front of the ship, Daniel had a surprised look on his face, looked at his parents, and shouted "thank you" with extreme excitement. Daniel slipped the Bible into his bag and got off the truck. Daniel was excited about his birthday gift, but did not want to hear his parents preach about Jesus the whole time. This caused Daniel to throw the Bible off the dock when his parents weren't looking. A man standing behind Daniel told him, "I don't think you should have done that, my friend." Daniel simply ignored the man and ran back to his parents, who gave him his ticket to board the ship. He went to scan his ticket for the cruise. The machine read Daniel's parents' names, then his. Daniel and his parents were then allowed on the ship. Daniel and his parents went to unpack in the room that they were staying in. Daniel was wondering about the first thing he and his parents would do on the ship. "What are we going to do now?" Daniel asked. His parents replied, "Eat!" Daniel wanted to argue with his decision, but he was very hungry as well. When Daniel and his parents went downstairs, there was a giant table of food, but Daniel saw that there were some other kids along the edge of the boat looking down at the water. When Daniel walked over to join the kids, his mother warned him to be careful. Daniel agreed and proceeded to go with the other kids. Daniel arrived at the edge of the boat to see what everyone else was seeing. Daniel was amazed by what he saw. "It looks so cool," Daniel said to himself. Little did Daniel know that there were a few younger kids playing a game of tag. One kid was running from another near Daniel. Unfortunately, these kids were not watching the pass in front of them. The kid that was running tried to stop in time, but it was too late. Boom! The kid hit Daniel, pushing him off the edge of the ship. He did not experience it because he hit his head on the side of the ship as soon as he fell. It knocked him out. Due to all of the kids running around not knowing what to do and panicking, no one was alerted until minutes later, allowing the waves to carry Daniel away. When Daniel's parents found out he was missing, it was too late for them to do anything, so they alerted everyone they could. They immediately went to their room and prayed that one of the search parties would find him. Daniel woke up on the shore of what seemed to be a beach. However, there was something missing. There were no other people. Daniel felt a humongous fear come over him, but he didn't lose hope. He knew that his parents would not leave him there. Daniel decided he would look around the island to see if there were any other people there. After searching for hours, Daniel concluded that he was the only person on the island. This brought fear to Daniel, but he knew that panicking would do nothing for him. Unfortunately, Daniel never got to eat when he was on the ship, so as the time went by, he grew hungrier and hungrier. He noticed that some of the trees had fruit on them. Daniel did not have the energy to climb the tree and pick the fruit, so he tried shaking it. A mango fell out of the tree into Daniel's hands. Daniel was going to take a bite when he heard what sounded like 1,000 sirens going off at once. He looked in the direction in which the noise was coming from. In the distance, he could see multiple figures rushing at him at what seemed to be the speed of light. "Apes," Daniel whispered to himself. Daniel tried to run with the little amount of energy that he had left. It was no use. A couple of seconds later, Daniel felt a strong push hit his back, knocking him on his face. Daniel felt himself being attacked by the aggressive animals. Their punches felt like cinder blocks being thrown at him. Finally, the punches stopped. Daniel opened his eyes only to see a giant, shadowy figure holding a boulder above him. Daniel knew what was coming next. Tears began trickling down the sides of his face. He closed his eyes so it would seem quicker. A few seconds passed, and Daniel opened his eyes and realized that the beasts were gone. Daniel had never felt this lucky in his entire life. After a few minutes of processing what had happened, Daniel went back, picked up his mango, and ate it, and some others. That night, Daniel went to sleep in pain and discomfort in the rocky sand. He was dehydrated as well. He decided that he would try to find water in the morning. Daniel dreamt that he was back at home with his parents, celebrating his birthday. However, he was awoken rudely by the sun in the morning. Daniel then went on his water hunt. He felt like giving up after hours of searching, but he could not. His life depended on it. Finally, Daniel had found a stream, and his eyes lit up, and his face of sorrow turned into a smile. He cupped his hands to bring the water to his mouth. However, when Daniel put his hands in the water, he felt an agonizing pinch on his right hand. When he looked at the spot of the pinch, Daniel saw that there were 2 large holes in his palm. He knew that he had been bitten by a snake. The pain only grew greater and greater until Daniel fell to his knees and shouted aloud, "If you really are out there, I want to tell you that I'm sorry and I need your help. I'm sorry about the Bible, and I've heard that you forgive, so here's my apology. I'm sorry, Jesus." Just when Daniel was about to give up, a man appeared in front of him. "Are you Jesus?" Daniel asked. The man said nothing. Then he touched Daniel's bruises and snake bite, and they were automatically healed, and Daniel felt energized. "Does that answer your question?" the man asked. "Jesus, you are real!" Daniel screamed. After Jesus healed Daniel, he hugged Daniel and told him that he loved him. Daniel told Jesus that he now believed in him and loved him very much. Jesus pointed to the helicopter and said, "I think someone's here to take you back home." Daniel gave Jesus one last hug and said aloud one more time, "I love you." Jesus told Daniel that he loved him once more and that he would always be watching over him. Jesus then disappeared and the helicopter landed. Daniel's parents rushed out to hug him and tell him how worried they were. Daniel hugged them back and told them that he now believed in Jesus and explained why. After explaining his experience to his parents, a book washed up on the beach they were on. Daniel went to examine what it was. The book was the Bible Daniel had thrown off the dock. Daniel was happy to see this and kept the Bible, now takes it with him wherever he goes.